Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fans React and another episode of Fans React Friday. I have to apologise to everyone for going live a few minutes late. It's because Sean Middleton is meant to be hosting this evening. However, he's having a little bit of trouble with his laptop and trying to activate his camera and microphone. But anyway, I'll take the show until he arrives. But join with us this evening. We have the return of the man with all the Sunderland players on his wall, Dan Humphrey. Hello, Dan. How are you doing?
Hello, Matthew. I'm okay, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. You must be really must be up for the game tomorrow. Obviously, you're playing for Charlton tomorrow. With George Dobson and all that.
Yeah, I'll be in the midfield, controlling it as always.
Yep, very good. But you will be there tomorrow, won't you? So you'll be
Yes.
there. If anyone's there, they can give you a hug and give you a kiss and tell them how much you love them.
I don't know. I'll say hello, yeah.
Yes, brilliant. And then at the bottom of your screen as well, we have Dom. Hello, Dom. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Well, welcome onto the channel. Dom's our
Thank you very
special
much.
guest
Very
for
special.
this evening. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, Dom. How long you've been a Sunderland fan and your best memories and all that good stuff.
Well, I've been a Sunderland fan practically all my life. I've been a season ticket holder for about 7-8 years. I'd say best memory is either I believe it's the 8th anniversary now of Barini scoring at Wembley in the League Cup final.
Mhm.
Or I would have to say the Chelsea game where it put us in the driving seat to keep us up and send them up the road down.
Yes, that is a good memory. To be fair, I wish I was at those games. To be honest, I was at the Wembley one though. Barini scored. That was very, very good indeed. But anyway, welcome onto the channel this evening. We hope you have lots of fun. Right, okay, let's have a look who's in the live chat here. We have Joanne Punchin. Hi guys from London. She's gone down a day early. Which is fantastic. Chris Scott asking Joanne, "Are you drunk yet?" Well, she must have been drinking on the train on the way down. I saw her enjoying one of Eleanor's finest half English breakfasts, which was very lovely indeed. Casey Cameron, Jude, Colin Major, DJ Sizzler, Watson. Hello. I'll see you tomorrow, Dave. Obviously, we're getting on the train to go to Charlton, like good supporters do. Will Allen, Gary Kay, Lauren Kenny. Ethan Dixon, whoever he is, and Brady Lamin. Well, hello, and Scott Holt. Right, okay, lads. So let's get started. Obviously, with the show. So big shock, or was it a big shock? Wigan last Saturday. Now, obviously, with the show last week, a lot of us on here were quite downbeat, as you can imagine, and this is the weird thing about football. In 1 week, so many things can change. And, we seem to be upbeat again with a big 3-0 win against Wigan. Dom, what do you think of that game? Did that result shock you, or was it one of them classic Sunderland things?
It was a half and half. Like I fully expected us to just go on a big losing streak because that is a very Sunderland thing to do. However, the only team we've managed to boss in 2 games was Wigan. I turned around and said, watch the only game we win in recent time be against Wigan, where they're in the form of their life and we're on a bit of a slump. I didn't expect us to get on the score sheet so early. I didn't expect us to have as good as a game as we did. I saw Patterson has a mint game as well, which I'm happy for him because I've seen him get a lot of stick recently about his performances, but I'm happy that he's coming up trumps at the moment and Ross Stewart bagging another 2. So it's happy days and it puts us back into a bit of a promotion push.
Yes, certainly does. Dan Humphrey, what did you think of that win against Wigan? Were you happy with that? I mean, who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't be happy with that? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought we would have lost going into the game, but as you said, some of the stranger things have happened. Hello, bit of a switch there.
Don't know how the hell that happened.
Yeah, obviously, I think Callum Dole being dropped was the main sort of right decision for me. I think Jamajli bringing in, he was obviously the start. I didn't watch the game myself. I wasn't there on that occasion. But obviously, Jamajli came in and got their clean sheet I think it was right for Callum Dole to be rested because he's played so many games, and for such a young lad, I think it was bizarre how many games that he was sort of having to play in a row. So I think that sort of in a good way sort of made us change the defence, and Bailey Wright's now back to fitness as well. So I think that was a good partnership. Obviously, Ross Stewart 2 goals again. What was it, 22 goals now for the season, leading scorer by quite a few. He's showing that he's really sort of. Without him, we'd be struggling at this time. But he keeps plugging away, and no matter the game, as long as he keeps scoring, we've got a good chance of winning some games. Yeah, as Dom did say, to be fair, we've beaten Wigan 3 times now this season, and you look back and think maybe we should have been a bit more positive about it. Yeah, I think Wigan must have just had one of their off days, but apparently we were very good as well. As you said, though, going into Charlton tomorrow, you don't know what to expect because it's almost the complete opposite. Last week we played a team who were in sort of brilliant. Well, not brilliant, but in a lot better form than Charlton. Our Charlton have lost I think it's five on the bounce, and we're going down there tomorrow, and there's every chance that they could get something, or we don't know what will happen. So it'd be a very sullen thing to win against Wigan 3-0 last week, and then to not get the job done tomorrow. But I think we can all be happy about last week's game and the performance and all that, but if we don't sort of carry that on with tomorrow and the games ahead, I think it's sort of a bit of a waste of time. Yeah, it's a very good start. Clean sheet's what we needed for me. I think our attack's been all right this season. I said Ross Stewart, but we need to shore up that defence. And I think all of our sort of defenders had a very solid game, and obviously Patterson as well. I'm happy for him because he's obviously he's got a bit of criticisms at time, and I think sometimes it's been well deserved. But he is only a 21-year-old goalie. This is pretty much first season as a keeper, and I think he's doing very well so far, personally anyway.
Yes, absolutely. And I agree. I think if anyone remembers when we went down to Crystal Palace in the Premier League and we won 4-0, I believe after we won that, we believed, now, the race for staying up, this has given us our hope. And then a week later, I think we lost at home 4-0 to Aston Villa or something like that. So we won 4-0 and then lost 4-0 like the following week. But anyway, it couldn't have been Aston Villa because they're in the Championship that season. Yes, moving on. So obviously, Jamajli being chosen in the team was a bit surprising. Dom, were you surprised by that, or do you think Jamajli had a good game? You think you should start him for tomorrow?
I was shocked that he got picked, but I'm happy that he's finally recovered, and I saw some little clips of the game and he looked really sound, I must admit. And I hope he starts tomorrow because we just need someone like that with positive energy to just take it forward, because we've seen a lot of things about us not wanting to play. And then the minute Shamaji comes, who's been starved of being able to play through injuries and whatnot, the minute he comes and plays, we look like a completely different team, and I think we need someone like that on the pitch for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, as well, do you think Jamajli is someone that you would start tomorrow, or you think you might give Doyle another run, or Bart obviously if he's free?
Well, personally, I think you keep the defence the same. I mean, it's the first clean sheet you've had in quite a few games, and I've watched Jamajli I watched him in a couple of 23s games, and he's looked decent. But obviously in those games, he's only played about 60 minutes because he played very few 90 minutes throughout sort of the whole sort of rehabilitation program that he's been on. So maybe if he is fit enough to play, I would keep him in this team because I wouldn't be changing a team that's just got a clean sheet against second in the league. So yeah, very happy with him, and I think it was a needed change. And obviously, it looks like finally we might have a little sort of solid centre back partnership. I think it takes the pressure off Callum Doyle, gives him a few games off, and he can come back in when he's sort of back mentally and physically ready to go again. And then to be fair, Danny Batt, I've not been too impressed with him, I'm honest with you. I think he had a good first game against Portsmouth, but since then he's made some questionable mistakes, and he's not looked as sort of solid as I might have thought that he would have been, if you know what I mean. So I'd keep Jamajli in tomorrow with Bailey Wright and see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive back into the live chat here. Where are we? Here we go. Stephen Hensel said we haven't won at Charlton since the year 2000. Well, hopefully this is one of these hoodoos that we have against these kind of teams, and we beat this season. It was one of them, like at Wigan, like when we went to Wigan, obviously last week. We kind of went there thinking, "Hey, oh, here he is." My advice works, Sean. Just turn it off and turn it back on again.
Honestly, unbelievable. Well, why has it done that?
I don't know.
We're just restarting and it's fucking, why would you want to fucking turn? Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just restarted it. I rebooted it. Rebooted it. So, rebooted it. Right.
Right. Okay. Should we reboot the whole show again? Shall we? Right. Let me finish what I was gonna say, and then I'll hand it over to you, Sean, to take over with the show. So I was saying, obviously, we went to Wigan thinking of, we're not really going to get anything out this game, so we're just going to go there, enjoy ourselves, enjoy it as best we can, and if we lose, then so what, really, as long as we have a good day. And we did have a great day, and we won also, so we had an even better day, and we had a great trip back to the northeast, didn't we, Sean, in the car, doing lots of impressions of people and whatnot, which was very fun indeed. What was I going to say here? Back to the live chat. Ethan Dixon saying, will he see Joanne tomorrow? He's clearly they're trying to shoot his shot. Don't know. We've got Alyssa Rao. Evening, Alyssa. We've got Callum Linton Guitar Men. We got win 3. Yes, we got win 3. Anyway, Sean, I'll hand it over to you. We have already spoken kind of about the Wigan game and Jamajli. That's about it, really. So whatever topics that you've got left, fire away.
All right, so that's where I was going to start. Apologies. I don't know what happened there. It just said my microphone and my camera was turned off, and I don't understand how. But then Matthew says restart your laptop. That's probably should have been the first thing I should have done. But I restarted, and here I am, 10 minutes late. But I obviously thanks for people who tuned in. Sorry I'm late, but obviously the Wigan and Sunderland game, Sunderland 3-0. Have you all spoke about that fantastic result? Yeah,
we certainly have.
Yeah, Alex Neil, obviously his first win. It was a great deal. I think none of us were expecting it, to be fair. Standout performance. For me, I mean, I thought it was a team performance. I thought you couldn't sort of point at one person who played really well, because as a team, I thought we defended well. I thought, as you just said, Amalji come in. He hasn't played for a year and a half. Serious injuries. He's come in and he's done really well. What was Matthew?
Yeah, one frustrating thing is that Lyndon Gooch probably had quite a good game, which means he'll probably start tomorrow. So, which means it'll be another game of not starting Jack Clark or Patrick Roberts.
Correct.
Like, if anyone could have a bad game, just please let it be Gooch, so he could just be dropped next. But he went and had a good game, didn't he? So he'll probably play tomorrow.
I like to see it, but I mean, it was a great performance, and we looked so relaxed. I mean, I was so relaxed for the game as well. I mean, we scored the early goal. I think that set the tone, and it relaxed the players, and then also the fans were straight behind the team. And I think we needed that. We needed that start. And when the fans, I mean, lately you've been going to games and there's a misplaced pass, and then the fans are straight on the backs, and we'll pass the ball in the middle, and then we're in an attacking position, then we'll go back, and the fans hear the noise and they're saying, why are you going back? And it's just frustrating. But that early goal set the tone, and I think we just went from there. And I don't know if it rattled Wigan a little bit, I'm not sure, but I know there's a couple of people said Wigan didn't play very well, but I'm of the opinion, I think you've got to give the lads some credit, because I mean, we're quick to criticise them. I was critical if we don't win or we're not playing very well. I'm quick there to criticise them. But let's take the credit. They give the players some credit, and especially Alex Neil as well, which I was going to come to later on in the show, because I've got a lot of topics down. But great 3-0 victory. Sorry I'm late. Moving on. Alex Neil off to a flyer. Obviously, the first thing I want to talk about was the report sent an email to Charlie Mifflin, I think, and Stuart Donald, and obviously he got back. I don't know if you've heard about this, but I'm just going to narrow it down because there was quite a bit in the email. But in a nutshell, it was talking about they are remaining 39% of the shares of the club, and he was willing to sell for 11.7 million. Obviously, the value of the club at 30 million. I'll come to Dan. What's your opinions of that? I mean, they've said a lot of things in the past. Do you believe them that if they're given that amount of money, they'll go and they'll be no longer at the club. 11.7 million. Do you think that's fair? And do you think they're telling the truth?
You don't really know what to believe anymore, Sean. If I'm honest with you. Obviously, I have no idea how much the club is actually worth, and I don't think we really do, because the ins and outs of all of it, I think they still don't tell us a lot of things. But I can't see them selling it. If I'm honest with you, I think the 11.7 million that they're saying, whatever, that price will only increase in the next few years if we do go up and whatsoever. So
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's the right price, because I'm not like a businessman like that. I don't really know, because obviously someone else will probably know what the sort of realistic target is. But it's a bit of a weird one, because once again they're saying things, and will something happen? Will something not? And,
yeah. I know it's hard. And I'm picking this up. It's just obviously with that figure being released, I sort of bring it up tonight because, I mean, I don't believe that's why would you see a figure like that anywhere? Why would you bring that figure out? I mean, they're in it for the money. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's all they're in it for, and they know that them shares, if we get promoted, will be double. So why would they want to sell for for that amount, Dan? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, I completely agree, and it's also obviously someone said, I think in the past week, about sort of the timing of it as well, because was it the KLD? The meeting was today, was it, or was it this week?
Yesterday. Army.
Yeah. So obviously, I think they announced that just before that happened as well.
Yeah.
Which was a bit sort of maybe putting a bit of pressure on KLD in that, and also I don't know have we heard anything from KLD this week about what they've said or.
No, I'm saying that they were in the meeting with the Red Mike Army yesterday, but I think that's going to. I don't know if that's going to be released in the next couple of days, like what was talked about. And Red Mike Army normally just a couple of days they'll release it to everybody to read through what was discussed in that meeting, which I'll come to further in the show. But anyway, I'll just move on because Stan, I'd like to say it's a figure thing, but I've just got to ask your opinions on it. But Matthew, 39%. Methven and Donald said if you give us the 11.7 million, they'll be aware. I don't believe it, but what's your views on it?
Well, I mean, it'll be a very, very good deal for them to come in the club and buy it with its own money, and then to leave and get 11.7 million pounds out of it. I think that is probably the best deal I think ever. You know, they've come in and they've had their free meals in the director's box, and they've had all their free travel everywhere, and then they're going to leave with all that money. It's sort of just seems like they're kind of robbing us a little bit.
Daylight robbery.
Yeah, kind of. And I think it's, that they said they came in and said, we want the piss taking party to stop. And they've come in, bought it with its own money and want to leave with 11.7 million pounds. And it almost kind of rob us. And I think that is sort of, lies and etc. And I just think it's so wrong on so many levels. And, I think obviously that big banner that we had at Wigan, the Madrock's out, kind of like only a few days after that, they're saying, right, okay, we'll sell our shares, but if you want us out, it's going to take someone with a lot of money, and whoever is going to want to just buy a share in Sunderland and pay that much money, I mean, if someone was to come in and go, all right, I'll buy the whole club, and I'll buy, I want to be the chairman, I want to be a director, I want to control the club, I want to do this, do that. Whereas you could say, oh, just spend 11 million pounds and just do nothing. It's sort of, I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Well, I mean, the 41% that KLD has bought, and Donald's already, I think Chris Weatherspoon said the figure. I can't remember exactly what it was, but the 41%, he's obviously getting the money for that as well, hasn't he? They've obviously written 20 million off as well. Do you know what I mean? So all this money that they've wheeled and dealed and robbed and stole, it's like, Jesus, how are these guys allowed to own a football club? Do you know what I mean?
I know it is ridiculous, and I mean, he now wants to go back to Eastleigh, and I'm like, he came from Eastleigh, wants to go back to Eastleigh. I mean, this is kind of thing I'm talking about, and he's so reluctant to sell the football club. Like, if anyone remembers in the Netflix documentary, and he's there in his house, and his wife is going, Stuart, I think you should sell this football club because this is ruining our lives. People are writing these messages to us. It's become really, really difficult. And Stuart's like, yeah, I could sell it. But the kids love it. just the kids absolutely love it. And I'm like, well, I'm not being funny, right? But if your kids love it, doesn't mean you should keep a football club. It's just ridiculous. This man. It's not like. It's not like going to the park every day or whatever. You're in charge of a football club that is very important to the city of Sunderland and football history. If that's at your hand, that's at your fingertips. It's very scary that it can get into those hands. And I mean, and just look where we are now. It's pretty scary.
I think you almost look back to when they first were sold it, and you think, why did we sell it to them in the first place? That's what I think. Surely you've got to do a bit of background research on sort of who's coming in and how much money they have, because they clearly don't have the funds to run. But
I think what they wanted to do was come in and almost make Sunderland like a non-league club. Well, to run it like a non-league club. And I don't mean to run it so we end up in the non-league. I mean to run it so the owners are out there having pints with the fans, and we have we're signing these players who aren't maybe the best, but it means so much to them to come and play for this club and whatever. And I understand that thing. That was nice. However, at the end of the day, this is a football club, and it's a big football club, and it's not going to work being run like a non-league club. I'm sure they do very well running a non-league club. However, with Sunderland, you can't run Sunderland like a non-league club. You've got to be serious, and it was all a bit of a like how they arrived at the club and they brought all their friends from Eastleigh. It was kind of like, oh, we've just moved into this new house. Everyone just come round. We'll have a bit of a party. We'll just trash the place and then we'll leave it. It's just one of them things, really.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to go to the live chat and I'll bring in Dom. Apologies about me. My late arrival. I think if that happens in the future, I'll just reboot the full thing. I should have done that in the first place. But
it's
anyway,
okay, Sean. It's okay. Better late than never. It's okay.
No,
You're here now.
It's just annoyed us. That's all. Just annoyed us. But anyway, in the live chat, obviously, Joanne Punchin is in there. Alyssa Rowell. Thanks for these moderators. That's much appreciated for your help. Ethan Dixon, who's coming with us tomorrow, I think. Matthew, is that right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Lauren Kenny is in there.
Gary,
any comments made out? Colin Major says, Sean, I feel you're hurt. I'm the same when it comes to computers. No, Matthew's wrong. I'm not that bad with technology. He's just exaggerating there, to be fair. I'm not as bad as what he says.
Listen, my Mac, every time I turn it on, if I try to join StreamYard with, I don't know why it does this as well, but if you don't reboot the microphone and the camera doesn't work, so every time I have to come on, I have to reboot my entire computer. So I don't know why that is. It's something that Apple need to sort out.
It's the first time it's happened though, Matthew, that one for me. But anyway, look, like as Matthew said, it's better late than never. I'm here. I'm here to, we're here to talk Sunderland and
having a good Friday evening.
A good Friday. I didn't do my normal intro on that, which I missed. I like doing the intro because I was like the interview. Never mind.
I mean, I hit the countdown again if you want.
No. Right. Anyway, our new guy, Dom. How you doing, Dom? Nice to.
I'm all right, Sean.
I watched your video. What you done for us? It was really good. And I see Matthew said earlier on, it's we're in need of an editor. I mean, I'm just doing the basics, but it would be great if you could help us out there. But anyway,
I'll give it a crack.
What we're talking about, Dom, with the 11.7 million for the remaining 39% shares for Stuart Donald and Methven. I mean, do you believe him that could be the case?
To be honest, I'm with the others. I don't know what to believe at this point. They've been like rinsing us for 3.5 years now. It's like everything they say you want to believe, and then you look at the fact of they bought us with our own parachute money. They haven't paid it back, and we're just a bit of a joke of a club the way we ran. Like for a year, we thought we got rid of them, and it was just KLD at the top, and then it comes out that they've been keeping him hush for a year, and now the contract's up. He's allowed to speak out about it. I don't know. Like everyone says, it's one of them things where you want to believe that they will sell, but why would they? Because if we go up, that's more money going in the pocket for them, and if they sell for 11 million, they've got more money in the bank. So it's a win-win for them either way. and they keep saying, "Oh, we will sell at some point." They never have, so I don't really know what to believe at this point.
But the way you got to look at it, you've just touching up on it. When they come in, they've obviously negotiated the debt with Ellis-Short. Ellis-Short's wiped the debt, yeah. So they've done well they've talked the talk and they've said they were going to do this, we're going to do that. I think they offered Ellis-Short more money back with the parachute payments or something. It was something along them lines. But the way you got to look, they've come in, they've seen a massive opportunity. And I think they just took the piss, basically. They've took the piss and they've tried to be nice to the supporters. We'll change the seats and we'll have a couple of packs do this and we'll do that. But they've been found out in the end. But it's been great work by, I would say, fan groups like, Wise Man Seer, the guys up there. They've done a fantastic job by, figuring this out. I mean, Chris Weatherspoon, great guy. He's an accountant and he's very, very intelligent, very clever. But there's a lot of guys there they've done really well, and it just goes to show that it's people like these. They shouldn't be allowed in football, but it is what it is. And you just got to.
I tell you what, if we beat Charlie that playoff final, that would have been heist of the century for what's it called, for Stuart Donald and Charlie Matthews. Like, if we won that game, they would have run off after that with all of their money. Like that would have been
equally. We would have been promoted. So
exactly, we wouldn't have been bothered.
They would have gone. They would have had their monay and pissed off, and that would have been the sum of it after 1 year. So you'd rather they were there for 1 year and got the money, rather than still be here 4 years later and not have the money.
It's crazy the way it's worked out, isn't it?
To be fair, I think that they could have. To them, they could have done it if it was 1 year. Any longer, they weren't prepared. Like, okay, I think for KLD, if he came in the first season, if we failed to get promoted the first season, then okay, we've always got the second season. We have that financial support. But with Donald and Methvin, it was a risk, it was a gamble, and it didn't pay off, and we kind of just sort of fell away even more. So, yeah, equally, I think they did everything they possibly could that first season. I think, it was down to Jack Ross, and it was Jack Ross's fault that we didn't go up. But, you shouldn't ever come into a football club if you're only gambling for what, you can't gamble with buying a football club. It's just ridiculous, especially Sunderland as well. Because if it goes wrong at Sunderland, it's they know themselves, it's an absolute nightmare. But, they've only got themselves to blame, really. They should never have put themselves in that position in the first place. And they're just not suited. They weren't prepared to own Sunderland. And I think they're doing the right thing to get out. I think £11 million is just ridiculous. I think they'll be lucky to get 11 quid, to be honest with you, to then...
You look at Matthew as well, though. I mean, if this guy, he's a multi-billionaire, Kirill Louis-Dreyfus, right? He's a multi-billionaire. So the money's what's being touted. I mean, if he really meant business, he would have made he would have bought the club out, and that's what it was. Apparently, that's what it was agreed, but it got leaked out. So then they went from a full buy to only getting 41%. That's the bit I can't understand. Why would you?
Doesn't he have to be a certain age to get all of his money or something?
This December that's when he can get his £2 billion trust fund of his dad this December.
So maybe obviously he's waiting for that money to then probably buy out the rest of the club. I don't know. It might have been one of them kind of deals possibly, or it might have been a deal where, okay, you stay. If we get promoted to the Championship, then you go and I take over the rest of the club. If we stay in League One, then I keep this share and you keep your share. Because last season, if we went up, I reckon Stuart Donald and Methvin would have gone and taken their money. But obviously, because we're still here now, that's got leaked out, and now they're now forced to leave and trying to get their money. So, I think if we got promoted, then their shares would have been bought out by KOD. I think.
Remember, these are the guys what said as well that they've got the club's best at heart, but they also tried to sell the club to Mark Campbell. Yeah, do you remember that? The Mark Campbell situation.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you check up on him, he is not a reliable.
Let's just say thank God they never sold it to Williams Story, because we'd be. he would liquidate Sunderland into an energy drink. Do you know what I mean? We'd be gone.
Fit in a can.
Yeah. I mean, you can believe what you want about the Williams Story thing. I mean, and just not getting involved anymore now. When he tweets now, I just sort of I just let other people just fire them mad just to keep out of it. You know what I mean? It's actions are not, speak louder than whatever. But look, let's just try and move on from that. I just want to get that one out of the way. It's it's the thing side of it. But I'll just go back to live chat anyway as well. Patrick Ward, who was seen down Bolton, I think it was. Wool pulled over our eyes. A lot of people see that, mate. Honey 95, hi Frankie. I don't know what's going on there. NBA Ballers, I think that's my friend off Twitter. Steve Flounders, honestly, lads, I think the next 4 months are potentially the most important in the history of the club. I do think KLD will take on an overall majority shareholding, but not to go up will be a disaster. I think there's a few people asking us as well about the meeting. I think Dan mentioned earlier on. Obviously, the Red and White Army meeting was yesterday with KLD, so I think in a couple of days we'll hear what happened in that meeting. And I think I don't know if you want to go next week, Matthew, but the Red and White Army have the whole of the meeting in the town centre next Wednesday or Thursday, and I've getting 2 tickets. So if you want to come along with us, like
I do.
I'm gonna go along. I've getting 2 tickets, so you can come to that one if you want.
What day?
2 seconds. I booked the tickets because I just quickly booked them. Just quickly have a look.
Are we allowed to film and bring the mics?
That's the thing I was gonna ask them if I could, but where is it again? Open meeting. It's on the 17th of March. So when's that?
Get in. That's me. That's literally my 1 day off between like 8 days. That's brilliant.
So it's 2 weeks' time, but I've getting 2 tickets. So if you want to come, as your tickets reserved, so we'll go.
Brilliant.
And it's from 8. It's from 6:30 till 9. It's at the home side in Sunderland.
In the evening.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway, I just want to just quickly mention it because I know Dan is a big cricket fan. I did write this down somewhere, please here.
Cricket fan.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, there's some sad news. I think we all have heard in the last 12 hours in the cricket world. Rod Marsh sadly passed away. The 74-year-old. He was the wicketkeeper for Australia. He passed away, and funny, like that's not funny enough, but Shane Ward actually put a tweet out about that as well, and the passing of Rod Marsh, and it was so sad. And then obviously we obviously found out this afternoon that Shane Warne's 52 he's also passed away. So it's really sad news. I'll just and now we're just moving off the subject of football, but I wanted to bring it up because it's Shane Warne was for me the greatest ever spinner in the game. Dan, I know you're a big cricket fan. So I just want to get your views on it's a really sad day for cricket.
Yeah, very sad. One of the best, Sean, to be honest with you, in terms of bowlers ever, really. There was no one quite like him in terms of the way he bowled and
he was unbelievable.
His character as well. As I was listening to a few people earlier saying about how much he loved the game, and also I think he was a really good pundit as well. He was on Sky Sports, he did the Ashes and stuff like that, and when England playing in the Test matches here, and kids would always send in like the videos to him, like the young spinners, and they'd always send in the videos to him, and he'd give them all the advice and what he thinks they can do, and it's just a really, I think, positive guy who wanted to help everyone who was sort of in the game of cricket as well, because I think that was his one sort of passion and love, and it's very sad, very unexpected, and
really unexpected.
It was, as you said, just completely in shock, really. One of those deaths that you just come out of nowhere and you don't expect to happen, because he was, if anything, he was fitter now than he was when he was playing. To be honest,
I know. It was. I mean,
it just shows, well, you've got to make the most of it, and I think he did do that, to be fair. And that is the one thing you say. He lived life to the full, and he had a great career and just seemed a really nice bloke as well, to be fair. So it shows how good he was. The fact that English people like him, because
that's exactly
almost jealous of how good he was and how he used to.
I mean, he was like
when he was playing quite, but how we used to rip through our batting order, and how we almost loved him so much because we wish he was on our team almost. If you know what I mean. It takes a lot for the English fans to sort of appreciate an Australian player like that, and certainly did with him. So very sad.
Yeah, it is. And just Matthew, I don't know if you want to quickly think on that, but
Oh yeah. On that note as well, I can't say too much obviously about cricket because I am obviously I'm not that educated with cricket, but it is really sad. Obviously, we're losing a lot of people at the moment, and it's really sad. Don't really know what's going on with the world. Obviously, obviously the fan that unfortunately obviously received treatment at the Stadium of Light in the Burton game. Michael, who passed away as well, which was really really sad, and for that happened during a football game as well. Obviously, I've been going to football games all my life, and I've never seen anything like that, and it was really really distressing for everyone in the stadium. You know, no one should ever have to go to a match and never come back. But you know, nonetheless, you know, Michael was there, obviously supporting Sunderland, and you know, going to one of them horrible Tuesday night games against Burt that will probably not like, you know, it's very doubtful that we'll get a good result. But yet, you know, nonetheless, he was there, and it's very, very, very sad. And you know, obviously, we know quite a lot about that. Just obviously losing people, you know, obviously recently and obviously the last few months. So it's really sad, and it's just. People, you know, obviously I don't want to put a damper on obviously the episode here, but you know, obviously it's weird things are going on with the world, and we've just got to kind of make the most out of every opportunity that we get. And you know, that I mean, I know obviously that's something that people have been saying for a very long time. You know, just obviously make the most out of every opportunity. But you know, you look at what's going on, you seriously have got to do that. You know, if you got a chance to do something you enjoy, you got a chance to go meet your friends and go out for the day or something like that, then just make sure you go and do it, because you don't know when the next time you're ever going to get to do that is. So yeah, just make the most of it. And as you say, obviously Dan, you know, if you know, he's had a really fulfilling life, and that's kind of the main thing. So yeah, it's an important message.
Cheers lads. I just wanted to keep that sort of, I just thought I'd mention it because it's you know, in the sport of cricket they've lost two, you know, greats there. But moving on, I don't want to just go to the live chat, so I just read some of the comments out. 2 seconds. I didn't use the one on the screen, Matthew, because for some reason I can't seem to scroll up to none of the ones what's been earlier. For some reason, I don't know why that is.
Oh right.
I think there's a few people just saying about EG says Warney was a legend. I was a Patrick Ward. The reality of the situation is we are not good enough on or off the pitch. Hence another season in League One, says EG. Rest in peace, Shim One. I love the 11 blue shirt, says Honey 95. Yeah, I think there's another one. I think there was somewhere, but anyway. Moving on, anyway. Next topic. Obviously, there's 11 games to go now in this season. It's great that we won last week. Great victory, but I think we're in 6th on 59 points. I just want to get your views on how many more wins we'll need to secure a playoff place, because I mean, I looked at the tables today. I think I've been looking at them quite frequently, and you're looking over your shoulder, and you've got Plymouth, who's got a couple of games in hand, and your other teams who's going to come into form. I'll start with you, Dom. How many more victories do you think we might need to secure a playoff place? Because obviously the top two's gone now. We all know that. It went a few games ago, but just to finish in the playoffs and give us a chance of achieving the goal of promotion. How many more victories do you think we'll need?
I don't think it's a thing of how many more wins we need. I think it's how many more losses we can afford to slip through. I think even at the end of the MK Dons game, you saw a lot of talk on social media about how we've blown promotion. I think we haven't blown it just yet, but I think if we lose like 2 or 3 more games, I think it could potentially be over, because when you look at it, as you said, the top 2 are gone. You need 3 other teams to not win as many games as you do to even think of getting into the lottery that is the playoffs. So I think if we win tomorrow, we're still in a good chance of making the playoffs. I think it depends on the run of form of the other teams in contention for playoffs, but I'd say I can see us winning another 7 games, but I don't want to I'm touching words. Yeah,
I think that would guarantee. I'd imagine another 7 wins would definitely. I think that would be enough. Obviously, Matthew, how many more victories do you think we'll need? Because it's getting tight. It's getting tighter now, isn't it? I mean, you look at the couple of teams, what's just outside. You've got 2 games in hand, so the winning games in hand, they can really slip out.
Right. If you want my honest opinion here, I think one thing that we do wrong at Sunderland, and we've been doing wrong, that obviously for the players and the pressure that's put on them every season, is we get ourselves in a good position, and then you're thinking in your head, 8 games left, 7 games left, 6 games left, 5 games. Then they're counting down their heads, and then we end up messing it up right at the end. Whereas during the season, when we're on a good run, we're not thinking about a game 3 weeks or 4 weeks in advance. We're just taking every week as it comes. Just keep that mentality in your head of just win the next game and just win the next. Let's not think, right, okay, we've got to try and beat them. So if we rest these, let's not do that. Let's just take every single game. And I think one point Michael Bauer said, which I actually really agreed with, and it's not really something I thought about. Obviously, every season, it seems like we seem to go on a good run between January, February, kind of March, and then just drop off. Whereas when we've gone on quite a bad run, maybe we can switch it around a bit, go on a bad run and go on a good run until the end of the season now. Let's focus on Charlton, right? Get Charlton out of the way, then go, right, who have we got next? Right, we got Fleetwood. Right, okay, right, let's focus on Fleetwood. Rather than think we've got all these games in advance, because this is where they mess up every season because it's just too much for them. That's the pressure, I just think, just beat what's in front of you. Literally, honestly, just beat what's in front of you. Football should not be a complicated game. And I think it's very complicated when, as I say, people, they're worried about what's happening in 3 weeks, 4 weeks time. Let's just focus on what's happening next. Let's just keep it simple.
Each game that comes, is that your motto?
Take every game as it comes. I remember listening to Jamie Vardy speak. Obviously, this is very different, obviously. Jamie Vardy speak, and he said, when they're playing for Leicester and Leicester were going for the title, they weren't thinking in 3 weeks in advance, 4 weeks in advance, or do you know what? If we kept winning in 5 weeks, that title could be ours. They didn't think like that. They thought, right, next game. Let's just keep the mentality of let's just win the next game, and that's the mentality that took them over the line and won the Premier League, and that's a mentality that we just don't have at Sunderland to even get out of League One. It's very frustrating. So I just want us to fight for every game, really, and not think too far in advance. As I've said in last week, I said another problem at Sunderland is we think long term too much. Oh, we're having dreams about what we can do in 5 years' time, and we sign this player now, or just wait. They might be rubbish now, but I tell you what, give it 6 or 7 years, and they'll be Champions League final. It's just no good. Well, he'll be. I don't know where he'll be. Probably.
No, it's what Lee Johnson said in one of his interviews.
Yeah, it's just
2 or 3 seasons. I think Jack Diamond will be a Premier League player.
I mean, I don't know what Lee Johnson. But you see my point. We keep thinking long term here, and look where we still are now. So just think short term in the upcoming games. Honestly, just take every game as it comes and just beat what's in front of you.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll have to get since I've brought the question up because I just had to write the pointers down quick because Dan, how many games would you say we roughly need to secure a playoff position?
11. Well, I mean, technically, if you win all 11 games, you'll be in the playoffs. No, I don't know. Probably about just 6, I'd say 6.
No, do you think that'd be enough?
6 games, yeah, a few draws in there, a few losses, because we're going to lose some games, we're going to draw some games, aren't we? Yeah. But similar to what Matthew said, I think we focus on too much sometimes on what other teams are doing as well, like how we're going to get.
Yeah, I'll just flip this question because Matthew didn't really like the question, but I'll flip it and see it. I'll ask you guys now, right? If we don't finish in the playoffs, what does that mean for our club? Matthew, no, I'll go with Dom first. If we don't finish in the playoffs, what does it mean for this club going forward? Dom.
I think the longer we stay in this league, the harder it is we're going to get out. You've seen it happen to Southampton, Leeds in the past. I think the longer we struggle and the longer we bottle, I think we could just slip into obscurity like Portsmouth did. They spent a few seasons in League Two. I think now that parachute payments have run out as well, we need to seriously focus on just getting out and building stability on the, firstly, I'd say probably his bottom half of Championship. If we need to think of just short-term future instead of, in 5 years we could be in the Prem, we need to take little steps into being stable, because I think sometimes we get to the point where we look like we're cruising to automatic promotion, and then like last season we choke at the last hurdle, and then we're back at square one. So I think as long as we get out of the league, it doesn't matter. But honestly, if we miss out on playoffs this season, I think we're in for a long few years.
I know, it's Jesus. I mean, being in this Division 1 season is bad enough. 2, jeez. Imagine 5 seasons. Sunderland, EFC, 5 seasons in League 1. Now that, tell you something now, that would be absolutely humiliating, Dan. Humiliating.
Oh, it's 5 years of my life gone there, I tell you. It's not exactly been the best years of us young lads supporting Sunderland. There's not been many highs. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing every year. We say, we can't have another year in this league, and then we don't go up, and it's like, we go again this year, we go, and then it just seems at the moment the same cycle's going on and on. I think we will get in the playoffs. I think if we don't get in the playoffs, then that's an absolute disgrace, quite frankly. I think everyone should leave. no, but I think if we don't even get in the playoffs, that is just beyond me, because these players and no matter who, I could be managing the team, and we should still be getting the playoffs with those players, because some of those players are more than capable of getting in the playoffs. And I'm more confident with Alex Neil, as obviously he has won the playoffs of Norwich and the Championship playoffs before. Yeah. That's a positive thing to look at. But as you said, like at the end of the day, the playoffs is a lottery, really. It's the same with a penalty shootout in Sunderland in the playoffs. On the day, you can be your lucky day. You can have a bit of luck against you. You can get a nice decision. Do you know what I mean? And but as Matthew also said, like, you've got to gain that momentum. And every season we tail off towards the end of the season. It seems to be like in the last 5 games, we win like 1 out of 5 or something ridiculous like that. Maybe this season it might be the other way. We've sort of had our horrendous patch over the last few weeks. Maybe now until the end of the season, we might just all only go up. You never know. It might go on a beat and run, but there still is enough games for us to have a bad streak again, if you know what I mean. Because there's still 11 games, and to be unbeaten in 11 games, I think it's kind of unrealistic. I'll be honest with you. I think we'll lose maybe 1 or 2 games in there if you're being realistic about it. But it's all about the momentum in the playoffs, and you see most commonly over the last few years, the teams that have finished third or sort of third or fourth, I think do go up because they have that momentum when they've sort of been the team playing the best. But like Blackpool last season, they sort of came from nowhere, but you sort of Blackpool were the favourites, I think, and they went and won it. And sort of when Charlton did it against us, they were third, and they were sort of just they were sort of an informed team, and I think it'll be the same again this season. So whether it's MK Dons say they fall off maybe, or Wigan fall off, there's still a chance for one of those teams probably to fall off. I think that one of them will probably fall away slightly, and there is quite a few teams that are in around there. You don't really know who's going to be in there at the moment, but I do. The teams that are in the playoffs, I would back us against some of those teams. I think we've beaten them in the past. Teams like Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, we did them in at home, and now obviously MK Dons is a tough team to play against. But if Wigan drop down in the playoffs, I'd be confident against Wigan with the record that we have. So I think it all comes down to who we sort of get in there. But we have to get in the playoffs. If we do not get in the playoffs, then I mean, is there even any point anymore? Like you said, it gets beyond me now. The minimum, I mean, there shouldn't even be a minimum. The minimum should be getting promoted, but my minuscule minimum is to get in the playoffs. And if you can't do that, then I mean, you shouldn't be playing for Sunderland, in my opinion.
I totally agree, Dan. I totally agree. I'll just go back to the live chat. Keep people involved.
We just love talking about Sunderland, don't we? It's so just upbeat and so lovely.
Adam French has 8 wins and win the playoffs. Thean, who's just come into the chat, I seen earlier on there, says 67 wins for me. Need to remember Plymouth and Sheffield Wednesday have games in hand. That's the point I was talking about earlier on. Yeah, that's what you've got to look at as well. Patrick Ward says he agrees with Matthew. Just worry about the next game. Yeah, Matthew's got a good point there, to be fair. But anyway, I don't know, Matthew. I'll just go on to the next topic because we're running out of time now. With obviously Alex Neil, he's had 4 games there now. I mean, that victory against Wigan was a good win. Is it like now a case of his methods? He's took his time to settle in with the players, but his methods are starting to come across now, and the players are starting to understand which type of football he wants to play and which way he wants to be effective. Matthew, do you think that's starting to come into play now?
Yeah, I think against Wigan, you could kind of see us actually playing something. I think it did help that. I think confidence is a massive thing in this team, especially with it being such a young, inexperienced majority of these players. To get an early goal, and I think it was something Sam Allardyce, I think, always said. It was 2 things: it was getting clean sheets and always getting like an early goal in a game. I think it was always getting an early goal, because that will just give you an advantage, and in worst case scenario, just give you something to hold on to as well. So I think the early goal really, really helped and really set the mood for the match. I didn't think Wigan were particularly good, but you can clearly see us actually trying to play something, and the players weren't that confused. So yeah, do you know what? I was pretty pleased, and I think hopefully Alex Neil has got something going. And he's technically quite a good manager. Obviously, we've heard from previous clubs, and yeah, like, you know, at least I saw something against Wigan that I thought maybe we might struggle to see. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Dan, you were trying to get in there?
Yeah, I was just going to say, with me, I think in the early parts of the game, if say we get an early goal, you can tell that we're going to play well and we're going to have a good day and a good game. And I think it's so easy to tell when we do lose those games, you know, after about 15, 20 minutes that we're just off it. It doesn't change. The first time, it's very rare that the result at half time changes at the end of the game in our game. If we're winning at half time, we normally win the game. If we score early, we normally win the game. And if another team takes the lead or scores 2 goals, we never get back into. When have we ever come back from 2 goals down to get any points?
Good points, Dan. Yeah.
So I think it's all about the start. And as I said, that first goal, the fans behind, the early goal, and it's all you want really. And if we score those early goals in the first half, that's what we used to do early in the season. We putting teams to bed at half time, 2-3 half time. After there's a few games we were like 3-0 up off 2-3-0 up after 15-20 minutes.
Wickham.
It's almost like you just saw out the rest of the game. And I think we need to try and sort of go all out at the start and standards and at it from the off, because if we do that, then we have a very good, I think, rate of when we score first of going on to win the game. And obviously, as I said, when we concede first, the other way around.
Yeah, it's good points there, Dan. I'll just quickly go back to live chat and I'll get your opinion on it, Dom. 2 seconds, pal. There was a good point by, I think it was AJJ. I'm sure KLD will want the off-field shares sorted before the season ticket renewals, because we are not an attraction on the pitch at present, especially if it's a League One. Again, that's a good point by AJJ. Steve Flanner says, not going up will result in a loss of 5,000 season ticket holders. Neil and Stewart for the starters will leave. We will be probably looking at for a new manager and a new team. So that's another good point. He's a very, very intelligent DJ Sizzler, obviously Matthew got to meet last Saturday, didn't you, Matthew?
I did. Interesting experience.
His jokes or something. What will make the difference going when we will be a good run? Because every time in the playoffs, always going in with a bad one. That's what I was going to come to as well. Like to see, this year it could be where we're going into the end of the season and we're starting to, like you see, Alex Neil's methods, and we're in good form. But when we go in the playoffs, it's always in bad form. But
momentum going into the playoffs with that momentum. Usually when we're finishing can I just say, usually when we're finishing the playoffs, it's normally, we're finishing the playoff, we're trying to pick ourselves up off the floor, and then we end up losing the first game of the playoffs and giving ourselves a mountain to climb. Whereas if in this season now, if we get in with momentum and we're ready to go as soon as that first leg comes, we'll be ready to go and get that playing at the Stadium of Light again on the rooftop. Shout it out, baby.
Well, this is it.
Baby, I'm ready to go.
Dom, obviously Alex Neil, do you think he's obviously 4 games? He won his first game last week, but I think there was the signs of last week. The look as if he could be getting across them players, and his training, all the things you see on the training pitch could be coming out now.
If those 3 games where we didn't win is what it took for him to adapt, then I'll happily take the sacrifice. Like you said, the Wigan game, we showed signs of a team that we haven't looked for games now. And I think I agree with Matthew too. Instead of like seasons before where we've finished in the playoff, it's like, well, we've choked it. And then that thing in the back of our heads that make us end up losing in the playoffs, whether that be in the semis or the final itself. If we go and build up the form again and go into the playoffs, I don't see why we can't go further than we have before. Because if we're the team in form, we'll be the ones who won't want to be drawn in the playoffs. And I think Neil's style of football, it's as long as it works, I think no one will really be bothered if we play fancy football or anything. I think what fans just want is results coming through the door and just wins back on. And if we get promoted, then nobody will care what kind of style he plays, as long as he takes us up and keeps us in the championship.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Sunderland AFC will get promoted this season. So
Oh no, he said it now. Oh no.
I've just got.
I can't. I don't even want to think about another season in this. I don't want to think about it. Right, we're gonna get promoted this season, right? So everyone watching, you go tomorrow. Just get behind the lads. Give it everything you've got, right? And they'll give everything that they've got. Let's just get behind them and let's just give everything we possibly can, all the support we can. No moaning from now on. Let's just get right behind the team. Right? Positive thinking.
Kev Muse has just said in the I was wanting to get. He says, "Sean, get the rave on for Dave." The rave, I don't know if he means Dave's. Right, there you go. That's what Dave believes if he's watching.
No, Sean, you meant to get up and do his dancing.
Yes, Jesus. Right, I don't know. On 8 o'clock now, and obviously I missed the first 15 minutes, but there was a few more topics I was going to try and get that. But I was going to get your views quickly on Gio Mattetti, because I think there was early signs. I mean, and I think that we've heard of the Fleetwood fans that this guy has got massive potential. I just want to get your views on him just quickly. Gio Mattetti. I mean, the last couple of games, I think you can see he's got that bit quality. And I think he could be crucial for us in the running. Dan, what's your views on Gio Mattetti? Do you think he's settling? Do you think he could be a great signing?
Yeah, I think after 4 years, we finally got a midfield player that we've kind of been looking for. Sort of that energetic, sort of never stops running and tackles all day sort of kind of player. Don't get me wrong, he does look a bit raw in some of the passes. Obviously, he gave the ball away at times.
That's
games. But as a 21-year-old, you can't really be too bothered about him doing that, because it's just sort of something they do at that young age. It's not going to be every pass on, but that energy and that tenacity and all of that what was it, the fight that you've been showing as well, and as you said, he has got quality as well, and I think he will have assists and sort of goals that he can bring as well in the future. But one thing I will say about him, if he gets a yellow card,
he misses the next game. Yeah,
it's either this. I think it's in the next. If he gets a yellow card in the next 2 games,
he misses the next
2 games. He misses two games, I think.
Yeah.
So I think he'll still start, but obviously, hopefully, he doesn't get yellow, because we don't want him to miss any games. Because without him in the midfield, I feel having Daniel and Corey Evans is just not the way forward. If Corey Evans going to play, you've got to have Matete next to him. I think. I don't personally think Corey Evans should play, but if for Saturday, I think you keep it the same.
Someone's sitting there next to someone's sitting, and then Matete just run around in front, sort of type of. Pulling the strings off. Matthew, what's your feelings on Mattetti? Gio Mattetti, I think it looks like it could be a good signing.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he throws himself everywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You wouldn't like, you wouldn't think it. I mean, when he comes out, you're thinking, okay, maybe he might be quite a fast, sort of skillful player, but you wouldn't think he'd be kind of Kevin Ball, Catama West, throwing himself in front of throwing himself into challenges every 2 seconds and literally using his body, to. After the game, to try and win the ball back. I mean, he doesn't stop running and trying to get the ball off. Like, all he wants is just the ball. That's all he wants during the game. You get a lot of footballers that go, I'm just gonna run over it. You know what I mean? Like we were playing like five-a-side shot. I'm like, just not now. You know. Whereas he comes over and he's like, right, give me the ball, and he'll run and he'll tackle and he'll try and get the ball. Very good play, great attitude, really good to have at this club. So I'm really happy with him.
Dom, your views on Gio Mateta? It looks like could be a great signing for us.
I agree with Matthew. You just want someone who's going to wear the heart on their sleeve and just go out there, put a tackle in, just play 110% for the club, because that is what we want as fans, is just someone to play like that. I think when we first signed him, we had not real much of an idea about him, but from what we've seen from Fleetwood fans, they say that the guy's the baller, and I can't lie. From what I've seen, he has impressed me. I thought with him not being the tallest and not the bulkiest, I thought he might just be all skills and no end product. But from what I've seen from him, he's played unreal, and I think he could be very pivotal towards a potential playoff push.
Definitely. And we've also remembered as well, we've got McGeady coming back, and we've got O'Nien coming back.
I've got Broadhead as well.
Broadhead coming back.
Yeah.
You know, like we're going to look really strong now from now until the end of the season. If worst case scenario, if we do end up in the playoff, I mean, worst case is not finishing the playoffs, but if we do finish in the playoffs, at least we're going to have a really strong squad to give everything in that playoffs. Go on, Dan.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure
you're wrong.
Every league game that Nathan Broadhead started, we've never lost. We've never lost a game in the league that Nathan Broadhead has started.
There you go. That's a stat. Well, as the lads have mentioned, we've got some players coming back. I mean, there's 3 players there. McGeady on his day, quality. Broadhead was brilliant when some of the goals. You know, Luke O'Nien, whether you love him or not, he gives 100% and he's versatile. He can play anywhere.
Yeah,
that's 3 potential players who are coming into the team. So, as Matthew said, we could finish the season on the up, and
Roberts as well. Roberts and Clark.
Is Noel Huggins coming? Is Noel Huggins coming back as well?
Still not back yet. I think it's still a few weeks from him coming back. Like Dan, I think James Hunter said the other week. I think on regards to that. But anyway, trying to get all these topics done, but we're running out of time. So, obviously that was what I mentioned about the first clean sheet. That was our first clean sheet since the 22nd of January, which was the 1-0 victory against Portsmouth. But look, it's something to build on. And as Michael Bowers keeps on saying it, and he's right, we keep clean sheets, and then you can always win a football match. So let's hope we can keep another one. And on Saturday, Charlton.
Yeah.
And Matthew.
Yes, I hope so. Usually we never keep clean sheets against Charlton, but I don't know. Let's just hope we do. To be fair, I'm not so convinced with Patterson. I think he did all right. I mean, he made like one good save against Wigan, but are
you convinced with Hoffman either?
No.
I'm not convinced with
either.
Exactly.
No,
either. I don't think it makes too much difference.
Do you know what? I'd actually prefer Lee Burge over both of them. Do you know that?
Stop the shot, stop the cross, stop the shot, and the keeper's relevant. That's all you've got to do. That's what you've got to basically don't let them get a shot off, and then the keeper hasn't got to do anything. But I agree with you. I'd even have Lee Burge, and and I'm not a fan of Lee Burge.
I after seeing these 2 keepers this season, I've kind of seen that actually Lee Burge wasn't even no, because I'm talking about standards here. Because I still don't think Lee Burge is a good enough keeper. I still don't think Lee Burge is a good enough keeper, but he's still better than these 2. So that just shows.
Patterson, I think he's got to start next game, because whether you like him or not, he's kept a clean sheet, and I didn't have much to do really. But I think you've got to probably keep the same team ready for tomorrow. I'm just going to Charlton, because we're at the end of the show now. Charlton, I think, have they lost the last 4 or 5 or something.
Yeah, but you know what normally happens though, if a team's going on a bad result and they play.
Us haven't won at the Valley. I think Agent put it in the chat as well. We haven't won at the Valley since 2000. Our record's not good against Charlton.
Well, guess what? Me, Matthew, and I'm guessing Dom as well, weren't even born then. So there you go. I'll make you feel old.
What year were you born, Dom?
2003.
Oh, well, there you go.
But when Mick
2004.
McCarthy was at the helm.
Jesus, we're making Sean feel old here.
You're the same
Anyway.
age as Matthew, then, are you?
Sorry?
You're the same age. You and
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, lads, because we're running out of time, but score predictions for tomorrow. I mean, it's
5-0.
So
Do you know what it's going to be? It's going to be one of them, like in the last minute, we're going to win it. And it's just going to be a horrible, horrible game. Just the nerves and everything. I reckon we'll win it 2-1.
I'm confident, but I'm just confident of that display against Wigan. I thought we were really good. And I can't understand the fancy and Wigan were poor. I mean, also, Wigan's been poor in all the 3 games that we've played them. Just constantly, we've played them 3 times. We've beaten them 3 times. Wigan and
Right.
too.
It's because they have max power.
But he's going to have the last laugh with us, isn't he? He's going to have the last. They're going to finish in the top 2. You would imagine. It's just we have the number for Wigan this season, and that's why I was saying that I'll be happy if Wigan slipped the 3rd and MK Dons went up in the top 2. Because I think I'd fancy Wigan. I'd fancy us against Wigan. No problem.
I cannot stand MK Dons. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like they just remind me of just like Toy Town, like Noddy and stuff. Like it's just it's ridiculous. MK Dons is like just a made up place, a made up football team. Just a football team like that shouldn't even. I'm not going to say anything more. I'm going to get in trouble.
I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to Sunderland.
Come on,
3-1 victory. I'm feeling optimistic. Dom, what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland, and for us to nick it later on.
Great mind.
Paul from FansReact has said 4-0 to Sunderland. He must be on the shandies.
I love what he's having.
Mikesha Kamadju says 2-0 to Sunderland. I think somebody says 3-0. I can't say the name there.
You need Ben to come on and make a prediction, Sean.
I tell you, I know.
After his 3-0 prediction or something.
And I owe him a couple of beers as well, because he got the score right in the live stream, shouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did. It was very impressive. That was a great pre-match, by the way, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. I've watched it back about 2 or 3 times, and honestly, it was really, really good. But what was good about was obviously when all yous come on, and it was just the way it worked out. But have you noticed as well the connection's been spot on since I've been using the Samsung S21?
Well,
I think I was on the
Samsung S21.
Wrong settings. I think I was on the wrong settings with this phone. I think that's what it was as well.
Possibly. iPhone. Just don't rely on Apple anymore. They used to be good, but they make rubbish computers now and rubbish phones. So let's stick to the
One's working fine, to be fair.
Anyway, I think sorry, Dan.
What's that? Go something different.
2-1, 2-1, 2-1.
I'll go 1-0. Classic, old school.
Boring.
1-0 win.
I can't do like the last 5 minutes of a game and we'll win.
We'll score after 7 minutes. Bailey Wright, and then we'll win 1-0 for the rest of the game.
Good God!
Can't wait to see this clipped on Twitter once we lose 4-0.
I tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. Lyndon Gooch is going to get his first goal of the season.
No, don't.
That's what's going to happen. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put 20p on that right now.
Matthew, guess what? I like turtles. Somebody's just put in the chat box.
Have you ever seen that video?
What's
the what? Oh, don't worry. It's like this kid's got a face painting, and this is what do you think of it? What do you think of your face painting? He just went, I like turtles.
Turtles.
I don't know if you've ever seen.
But anyway, I think that just about wraps it up, Matthew, right?
Yeah, it does. Definitely does.
Sorry for the obviously the late.
That's
I think
all right.
Next time I'll just reboot it and hopefully I'll get straight in because I was on the verge of throwing the laptop out the window there. Like I was starting to really lose me temper. Like, but anyway, thanks to everybody who tuned in. All the guys, Kev Muse, Acacia Cam and Jude. I'll just try and read some names out. Matthew Leeds in there. Matthew, you're on the live chat. Steve Founders, Harvey Clough, AJJ, Jack Shaw, DJ Sizzler, who's coming tomorrow on the train. DJ's going to be cracking all the jokes. No doubt.
Sean, Dom's also on our train as well.
Who's on the train?
Dom.
Is he on the same train, aye?
Yeah, on the same train.
How is, lads?
It's like the Sunderland bus down to Charlton. It's going to be brilliant.
Ian, SAFC, thank you for coming in. Patrick Ward, Adam French, can't believe I forgot Adam French. Honey 95, DJ Earth, DJ Earth's in there. I think he says something about this is another account. I'm just reading all the names out. But anyway, thanks to everybody watching tuned in. Hopefully tomorrow we'll celebrate another 3 points. So from myself, Sean Middleton, from the very, very intelligent Dan Humphrey, and the very, very sexy Matthew Leith.
Thank you very much.
And the new guy, Dom.
The new lad.
Stay safe and bye for now.
Charlton Athletic, we're coming.
Oh.
Howie.